I am having trouble keeping up with everything that is going on with you all.
Same.
So
Would you like some hints on what
I would love a hint if I'm allowed to have a hint.
We have a lot of announcements coming out, and you're the first person that we're talking to about it.
It's a fantastic launch, but the next thing that everyone's asking is, what is next? Like, what happens next? You
It's such a good question. I would love to know.
You would love to know. But you very specifically, you have the Void, which for people that don't know is essentially the playtest for Daggerheart. So if you think of Unearthed Arcana for D&D, the Void is playtest for Daggerheart. And in it, you just released just now transformations, which are really awesome because you have the ability to become a vampire, a werewolf.
Yeah.
You can be, a creature that has been stitched together. You have a lot of different, and a demigod as well.
People have noticed that there's a considerable amount of spooky content on the Void right
Yes,
now.
I have noticed that as well.
And have been speculating, and it's so funny. I'm like, bold of you to not think that we're just all spooky.
Right.
A lot of that spooky content, honestly, was like, this doesn't belong in core.
Right.
Yeah.
like it doesn't belong in core for all these spooky things, but
Because it's so genre specific, and that is such a rich genre.
yeah, so we're like, okay, well, let's hold it and then let's release it so that down the line so that people can try it, but we just like spooky stuff.
It was hard to hold spooky from core.
It was.
All the fun things are always hard to hold back.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely the right choice for core to be as strong as it possibly could be.
I was very excited to see the drop with Vampires and Werewolves. I'm excited for the Dread Domain.
Totally. Well, like for the live show we're doing in Indianapolis, we converted Bell's Hells over into Daggerheart for the purpose of this. So I had to create a Blood Hunter class, and thus, as part of the Blood Hunter class, a Blood Domain. And so then
The show demanded things of you.
I didn't at all create the Blood Domain a while back either.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've all been spinning our wheels in the back while finishing the actual game with all the other cool things that we're like excited and inspired to also do in our own time, and it's been a funny game of whenever a lot of the Darrington Daggerheart team gets together and be like, hey, so yeah, on Sunday I on a whim designed all this, and they show their work and you're like, that's so cool. All right, cool, hold on to that, refine it. We'll do some play tests and see if it's something worth putting up on the Void. It's just kind of a very collaborative, everyone's bringing something, to the cookout really.
You are releasing homebrew tools for folks? A homebrew kit?
Yeah, we originally designed the homebrew kit to be a chapter in the core book, but as we worked on it, it became a meaty chapter. And the page count had grown unsustainable.
Right.
And so as opposed to having to trim it to the point where it wouldn't have been as helpful in its, waif-ish state, I guess you could say, it made more sense for us to go ahead and further develop the robustness of the homebrew chapter into its own kit.
So I think first and foremost, it's so that people that are using the game and want to build on the stuff in the game have a place that they can go to get answers about the intention so that they can make whatever they are creating align, if they want to, with core or with the rest of the stuff we're putting out. I think on top of that, it becomes a really great resource if you are looking to build things to share or to sell with Daggerheart. We look at people playing and making things for Daggerheart as being a really important part. It's the other conversation. The conversation between us and the GMs out of the book is really important. We always talk about what that conversation is like. How are we communicating our rules and our intent in the book with the person who's reading it, oftentimes the GM or in the player section of the players. And then there's the conversation between the GM and the players themselves, right? So we're in conversation with the GM and in conversation with the players for part of the book. And then the GM is in conversation with the players during play. And so this is also putting us as the dev team in conversation with people that are building in whatever scope or sense that is.
Yeah, we're famous in our friend group for hacking games while we're playing them with our friends, because different tables, different people, just different nights of the week need different things. And when we had the first kind of working version of the homebrew kit going, I was red teaming it and using it to make designs that we've been playing with that are now on the Void, and trying to see how it worked. And I was working on Reborn, which is our community that sort of breaks the rule of community a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was a moment where, as one of the designers, I say, and this is when I break the rule that I've established. And somehow still in breaking that, it feels like it speaks to Daggerheart. And so I hope it facilitates that kind of exploration as much as anything.
Yeah, I think that the big thing that we're seeing is people just building lots of awesome stuff for Daggerheart, especially on the Reddit and on social media. And we wanted to provide them the tools to like help where we can.
Beyond that, you're also working with other creators as well, right? Like we're very specifically a person, people who have worked on Eberron, for instance.
Made it, which is crazy to me. Yeah, Keith Baker, who I've had the pleasure of befriending over many years, approached us about creating a whole new setting in Daggerheart. Him and his partner, like the whole, like putting
Jen Ellis,
Jen, she's so talented and so nice. They're both so nice, and we've had able to have dinner a number of times and just chat about all the things that we're geeking about constantly. And so to have them both approach and be like, hey, we'd love to work with you guys and build something for Daggerheart that we're really excited about, it's as absurd as when Chris and Jeremy came. Like it feels weird because I don't want to wake up because it's very, very heartening and terrifying in all the best ways. So I'm super excited. It's so many cool things, man, and to have the ability to be the person to be like, yes, go forth. I guess that's what we do now. That's weird. Go forth. Let's do cool things together. It's really, really neat.
What are you working on?
There are many things that we are looking forward to sharing in the future. But we absolutely
you fell for it.
Wow. Years of friendship.
we absolutely can give you a bit more than that today.
Okay.
Right now, I mentioned that we're working on several different projects, and we're each taking point on different ones. So the project I'm taking point on is actually developing a whole campaign setting for Daggerheart. We've seen so far the campaign frames that are in core, but we've not yet seen what does it look like when you take a campaign frame and expand it to full campaign setting size. And the setting that I am currently working with Chris on is devilishly scary. And that is all I can say about it. But it is thrilling to be working on it. We have been very excited about the possibilities that it will bring, not only for itself, just as a setting, but also what it will bring to Daggerheart.
The thing that I'm going to be focused on at the same time is a campaign frame that we're creating that we hope will turn into a bigger project, a sort of shared communal adventure. Because I think that one of the things that Daggerheart fans will cry out for are some really fun, well thought out, sort of campaign length adventure experiences. The same sorts of experience that we see in the early days of 5th edition that help kind of unify the community around communal stories and shared experiences. Starting with the campaign frame and then blowing it out into an adventure is sort of the concept that we're playing with now, and I'm leading that effort.
So you have a lot of partnerships that are coming up in the live play space as well.
Yes, it's been exciting because of Daggerheart's release and its kind of acceptance and joyful acceptance, I guess, in the community. We were able to partner meaningfully with Legends of Evantris, who have done so much amazing storytelling in the actual play space, and we've been watching them for a while. It's been really cool to kind of find ways to collaborate there, as well as Dungeons and Daddies, which also amazing actual play. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should, with some old friends in other parts of media that also went and made an amazing actual play. And so, yeah, bringing back momentum, this is just allowing us to more meaningfully kind of expand our whole network of talented people and platform each other and share communities and do cool shit together, which is super exciting.
The big one that I'm really excited about, Todd, we're putting on a Kickstarter in fall. We're announcing class packs. So one of the things that we are really thrilled by the wild success of Daggerheart being sold out multiple times in multiple print runs over the last several months, we needed to figure out ways to be really clever about how to faster get this game into people's hands. So we've built that, which is just a class in a box, and it has everything that you need to play from level 1 to level 10.
It was something we had talked about during the development of the game, and we're more like that. We were talking like, that'd be something I'd want as a player, but is that something the community wants, really? And then after the release of the game, there was conversation in spaces of people, more or less being like, it'd be really cool if this was something that was viable. And so that kind of reaffirmed those initial ideas, but also amongst everything else, it's just like, well, let's meaningfully put this on a place where the audience can show us how much real interest there is in that sort of a SKU. And so we've been developing, designing, and putting it out there on Kickstarter and allow people to be like, if this is something you want, we can scale it based on how much demand there is, and here's your opportunity to get it, more or less. And so it allows people who, you can have a game master who owns the core book, but everybody can have their own separate set of character cards that they get to worry about. As a collector too, like I've had moments in the past where I've like lost a card of a board game and been like, shit, it's gone. Now this is a much cheaper way to access a replacement, or if you wanted to have a whole fresh set.
The core game, this is the part where you can get wild with things.
Yeah, kind of.
And you get a little bit wild with the campaign frames.
Yeah.
Which there is going to be a romantic one, a very Tusk-Lovian inspired, perhaps, frame.
Very
that's
much
coming out.
Well, we've had a lot of people request or talk about excitement for that sort of a genre to be explored. And since a lot of the game system, it has combat crunch, but there's also, a lot of narrative-based focus to a lot of the character builds and abilities. There was inspiration, especially with Tusk Love's release, to really show what you can create within those genres that aren't often initially considered in the context of a fantasy tabletop RPG. And so, we're the Romantasy inspired campaign frame is something that's been in the works for a bit, and folks are really, really excited about.
I am a big Romantasy fan. I also know a lot of folks in either the performance side or the writing side of Romantasy. I know the industry is a big one. And I also know that those people are the kinds of people who tell stories the way that I tell stories, because I'm one of those people, right? So we are working on a version of a campaign frame that we are calling With Love and Magic, and it is based on Tusk Love. And what you do, I know this was an actual play that they made a fake book out of, that they made a real book out of, that now we're making a game back out of. Perfect. That someone will then make an actual play out of, and they could reference Tusk Love inside of it, and it would be an Ouroboros that just would consume the world, right? But it's enemies and admirers, it's rivals. You're taking on a matchmaking season during what we're calling a Gallivant, and it's set in the Shining Empire, the city of Lumisara, the city of crowns, and you are going to be teed up to kiss me, kill me, the entire thing, right? Like it's going to be delightful. I'm so excited. We're also announcing a literal shit ton of licensing partners, including 2 new VTTs Alchemy RPG has been working with Shawnette and our licensing partner to do official cinematic Daggerheart VTT, and Fantasy Grounds VTT is also going to be doing partnership for an official VTT for us for Daggerheart, which is incredible. And that's on top of who we have with Demiplane and all of the other whitelisted folks that we have through our DPCGL. We are going to be partnering with Hero Forge. They are working on a licensed Ancestry pack. So we are adding additional Ribbits, Samia, and Fungrel so that you can get those new sculpts. There are going to be packs that you can purchase to be able to work on. We've digitized, and we've been working with their incredible team to digitize some of that sketch and artwork into a 3D mock that then you can put into their customizer. So but there's going to be more information on that coming out soon, but we're really, really excited to be partnering with Hero Forge for bringing to life some of those ancestries that weren't as easily available on other miniature sites and platforms. We're also going to be announcing over the weekend that we have an art book coming with Insight Editions. It's going to be a behind the scenes look at the art and the making of Daggerheart.
Oh, fun. Yeah,
which is incredible.
Fun.
And then we have a ton of dice. So we've got Misty Mountain Gaming, Botch Dice, and Dispel Dice, who are all doing in the best way that they do, like their expression of Daggerheart dice sets that are going to be coming out, which is really exciting.
That's another one of the cool things about a lot of these platforms, and probably like a bit of clarity too on how business works. Like a lot of our business partnerships and our license partnerships, we're just getting a small percentage of. You know, the bulk of this is to support these other independent companies. You know, like a lot of these partnerships are with smaller side companies, dice companies, side publishers, designers. Like these are, if these succeed, it helps support our business, but it also allows us to use the momentum and goodwill of our community and what we've built to help a lot of these other independent smaller companies as well. You know, we have larger partnerships, but like, that's one of the really cool things about this. You know, a lot of these incredible dice companies are run by amazing people. And so to, one, have something that we think would be really cool to exist, and then also give these companies business as well. And if they do really well, then it helps us do really well. It's just, it's a really, really cool chance to, I don't know, to bring more health and vibrancy to this industry, which has ebbed and flowed in many unique ways since I was a teenager.
A big thank you to the Darrington Press team for having me at their offices, getting to interview them about the future of Daggerheart, getting to see a lot of familiar friends, and also just getting to kind of like absorb kind of the energy and the momentum that is behind Daggerheart right now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. That all helps videos like this perform better in the YouTube algorithm and all that stuff. Also, if you want to see more content like this, check out my Patreon. You can get early access to interviews, see behind the scenes footage, quirky photos on set, all kinds of content. That's all available on my Patreon. There is going to be a whole lot more content around Daggerheart, around the tabletop industry coming up. And if you want to get early access to that and help support more content like that, Patreon is a great way to do that. And I am also now creating playtest materials myself for a number of game systems as well as Daggerheart. So I'm really excited for the future of this game and other games as well. I'm Todd Kenrick. Thank you so much for watching.